Welcome everybody, Harry P with the Driftless Homestead. Today we're with Chris in the Woodyard. Um, gonna work on his Easton made Ultra and take a look at it. I ordered a Easton made 1222 and trying to figure out, what the ins and outs are of the Easton made wood splitters.
So when did you order it?
In January.
So you're gonna get it in January or somewhere?
Supposedly.
Yeah,
Chris says Chris. Andrew said he's putting a second shift on in October, so maybe I'll get it in November, December versus January. I know he's doing everything he can. With COVID, there's a lot of things on back order, a lot of things you just can't get. He's had to switch the engines he puts on them. So I don't really blame him for that. It's just,
well, he builds products that everybody wants, and if everybody wants something, there's only so many of them. So yeah. He's got some growing pains, but that's great. That's a good thing that he's got growing pains. Obviously, it's a product that everybody wants.
Yeah, it's a good business he's got going, and there's things about it when you start to digest this, and you can see it on YouTube. It's not like it's something you can't see with the camera. Is you can see the heavy dutiness of this compared to especially a commercial or a box store wood splitter, and in some of the other wood splitters too, you can compare things to. And this one is just, it's made, it's built, I like to call them generational splitters, because this is something my grandkids will probably be able to use, because it's going to last that long.
And this is their smallest splitter, and it's built like a tank. I've run the 1222 that my friend Tony has, the one you're going to be getting. It's unbelievable. When you see it in person, it's like, holy smokes. It's just, everything about it is beefy and thick, and it's really well built.
Yeah.
And they hold their value fantastic.
Yeah, right now, I'm pretty sure that you could, if you bought a 1222 last year or the year before, I'm pretty sure you could sell it for more than you paid for it because of the wait time to get one.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, one of the things I always say is that I hate to spend money twice. So if you can afford to buy an Easton made versus a box store wood splitter, do it, because it's going to pay for itself in the long run, just on durability. You won't have to go out and buy another log splitter.
Especially if you're a guy that heats with wood, or if you sell any amount of wood, it's worth it to have it. But if you're a guy that cuts a face coat or two a year, a box store one probably is adequate.
Or an axe.
Yeah, or an axe. Yeah, if you're just doing it for the exercise. Yeah, they're great machines. I really like mine. I would buy this one again in a second. I get asked all the time, why didn't you get a log lift? Well, number one, because it doesn't come with a log lift, and they can't put it on this one. The design doesn't work for it. And I got it because of the speed was number one for me. How fast it is. It's got a 4-second cycle time, and it's as fast as I can feed it. Even with two guys, it's as fast as you can get wood up there. I have a pretty good system of having the wood right close to me. I always have the splitter so that I put it in a place where my wood is right there, and I just let it fall off the end, and the splitter just moves itself. So it's as fast as you can feed it.
Yeah, and workflow is important, as far as being able to do things and use the equipment to its fullest.
Yeah, and the only other thing I wish it had is auto return on the detent. That when it went to the other end, it would automatically return back. That would be nice, because I have to wait until the ram is all the way through, then I have to push it and hold it until I have to hold it back till it comes back, and then the detent will kick off.
So is that an option with these?
I don't think it's an option on this one, but on the bigger ones it's included. I don't think Andrew's doing any custom work where you could put it on, but I know you could switch this. You could switch out the controller so that you could make it be an automatic. I think he did it to keep the cost down, because to switch it over, I don't even know. It might be a couple hundred, might be $500. I don't know. All I know is that this thing has paid for itself 10 times over already in my speed. I used to do with the Glacier, I had 1 face cord an hour. Now I can do a full cord an hour. And that's by myself.
Yeah. And how long have you had this one?
I got it last year, I think in July. So I have now split maybe 9 truckloads, somewhere in that range, if I had to guess. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, right around 9 full truckloads.
And that's a lot of wood, and also a lot of work. And you can imagine with how fast this splits wood, if you were back on the Glacier, could you have gotten the 9 done, or how much longer it would have took?
Well, I've done about the same amount. because I've got other things that I'm doing. But I do know that this winter particularly, I didn't work very many evenings into the night. Whereas with the Glacier, I was out here 3-4 nights till 8, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night in the dark with a light on. Because in the winter times when I try to make most of the wood, and I didn't have very many of those because I would get the job done. It's like, okay, I better order another truckload.
Right.
I didn't have to do a lot of nights because it is faster.
Yeah. And there's a lot to be said for time is money and being more productive with your time and being able to you make more wood or do something else, but do more of it because you're doing it more efficiently.
Well, I looked at all the brands. I mean, I considered everything, and there's several other ones that I really liked, but for the speed and the cost, this one beat all of them. The speed, obviously, of the Ram, and the cost. It was $3,500 when I bought it, plus $1,000 for shipping, and anything even close to this was about 10 grand, 8, 9 grand, somewhere in there. I actually looked at the Power Split, which is the one that has the self-propelled buggy, and then it's got a log lift and an elevator, but they're 20 grand.
Yeah.
And now Andrew has the Axis, which is the same thing, but heavier duty, much better built. So there's that. And I have my wedge is movable. I can raise it up and down. It's got a pin. You got to do it manually, but I have it adjusted so that it works pretty much at the level I have it at. And I have the single wedge, which is over there. I've got it in the side. I can put a single wedge on. So if I've got a piece that's nasty and gnarly and full of knots, I put the single wedge on, or I save all those to the end, and then I do those all at once. But the reason I've got it where it is because when I split an average piece, just throw these out so you can see, I've got it's about 4 inches right here. So if this piece, I want to bring the camera in so you can see this here, Chief. When a piece is going in, I'm going to get the size pieces I want up here on top, and on the bottom they're a little bigger. So this piece right here I make it 6 pieces out of for firewood. Then I would take the 2 bottom ones, flip them over, and then resplit them so that they're going through again. So I want stuff about this size. I want 3 to 4 inches maximum, because I'm selling, and I know this is true for a lot of people, I'm selling for firewood, not heating wood, for recreational use. And most people don't want big pieces, because I find most of my customers, it's for the wife. It's for the woman of the house. Yeah. And they want to be able to pick them up with one hand and make the fire. I know in our house, my wife, she's the fire person. I just bring the wood. So that's just the way it works. And if you get a piece like that one right there, that's about an average size piece, that one on top right there. That's about what you want, no bigger than that. I've mentioned this on my videos, and for your followers, you can show them the thickness of this, because oak only dries about 1 inch a year. So if this was a piece of oak, you'd have, if you take 1 inch and go all the way around this piece, all the way around like this, in a year, if this was a piece of oak, it would be dry. This is maple, so this will dry in about 10 minutes. No, it takes longer than that, but this does dry really fast. Maple and cherry specifically, aspen, things like that. This stuff will dry in 2, 3 months, 4 months tops. It's dry by splitting it smaller like this. So you can turn your inventory over faster. So and that's the reason I want it that size, to dry faster, and because it's easier to start. You get more flames with it. Yes, it burns a little faster, but the people I'm selling to are not heating. They want to sit by the fire, and if the fire goes down, they want an excuse to go grab another beer. So they put a piece of wood on and grab a beer or something to eat. So that's kind of the reason, and this is the size they want.
Yep. And I will tell you, I heat with wood, and I'm the man, and I live alone, and to me, it's much better, rather than take one large misshapen piece of wood and try to squeeze it in there, I could take these small ones and I could fit 3 or 4 in there. Right. So I could pack more weight of wood in the firebox. Exactly. Versus the big ones that are kind of odd shaped and cumbersome getting them in there.
Right. And a lot of people don't realize that, like, see, if you take like these pieces here, if this was all one piece, it would take longer to dry. But when you go to, like you say, you put it in your firebox, you stack it in tight like this so the pieces are touching. And you can actually get more wood in your firebox with smaller pieces. It's like when you take 4 big rocks and you try to put them in a jar. If you crush those down into sand, it might fill half the jar. You get a lot more into it.
Right.
So, and the other thing people don't realize is that all wood, no matter what it is, if this was one solid piece or if this was 3 pieces like it is, it's going to produce the same amount of BTUs.
Yeah.
Because it's going to burn the same amount. It's just going to burn a little faster. And the way to control that is to pack it tighter and to close down your damper.
Yep.
You can control your airflow because air is one of the things the wood needs to burn. It needs to breathe just like we do. It's a living, breathing thing. You need an ignition source, you need your fuel, and you need oxygen for a fire.
Yep, and then there it goes. Yeah, and like I said, you know, taking those small pieces and putting them together,
Yeah.
you know, you can actually fit more in the wood box than if you came in with this big piece and kind
You
of
got one in,
wiggled it in and you got one in.
Right, and then it burns slower, obviously, but you got to work on it too. Then you got to turn it and move it, and sometimes if you pack it in, you know, to a corner, a big piece, so it's the only way you can get it in there. It doesn't burn as good sometimes.
No, because one side will be up against the fire brick.
Exactly.
And then,
right. You're only burning that one edge anyway, right?
Yeah.
Right. Good. So you want to do some splitting with this thing?
Yep. Let's get her rolling.
Okay, let's start her up. That's how fast it is. Once you run it, just watch your fingers the first time, because you're probably used to a slow one.
Yeah, I got the speed over.
Yeah, you're used to a slow one, exactly. The first time you run, it's like, oh, geez, I got to pay attention here, because it moves.
Yeah.
But I usually bring up two pieces, and what I a lot of times will do is I'll throw one right here, and then grab a second one and set it there, so I can run this one through. And as you split, the splitter will just move that way, but you just got to make sure it's clear, because it can't go up against the log, obviously.
Right.
Otherwise, you can just grab them and split away, and then grab from there, whatever. It's getting a ways away because I had all this. But when the pile was here, and I just kind of worked my way through it, so I'm gradually working away. So what you got to do, you won't have to do it now because I started it. But right here's your on-off switch, and then this is the choke right here, which you won't even have to do now. And I always just have it on full. Usually one pull and it starts because it's a Honda. It's got the GX 340. It's not a huge engine. I think it's 11 horsepower if I remember right. Does that sound right? I think it's 11.
Is it?
Yeah. It's got, I think it's a gallon tank. It might be a gallon and a half.
It looks like a big tank.
I can go a little over 3 hours, 3:10, 3:15 on a full tank, and I already filled it up. That's really about all you got to know. I do have to retape this because I pushed on it last night and my tape broke through. This is my fix there, it's just a bolt I did. But that's basically it. And I don't put oil on all the time. I do it like once every 15 minutes, maybe every dozen logs or so. I'll just give it a squirt. That's why it looks like this, and everybody's like, oh, it looks so messy. Well, messy means it's oily, which means it's lubricated, which means it's working well, because one guy say, he says, this is a firewood making orgy and I'm the lubricant. Something like that. So I try to keep it working as much as I can so that it's smooth. Because that's metal on metal. There's no skid plate on this one. Yours is going to have the plate on it.
The plastic, and then there's a grease pocket that kind of pressurizes.
Right, yeah. And you can actually grease it, but that's all I do. I mean, it stays greasy on there. I wouldn't have to because it would wear out sooner, I'm sure. But again, that's about all there is to it. Just wash your hands, man, because it's fast.
So I noticed on all the Easton made log splitters that he has these pressure gauges on here for the hydraulic pressure.
Yeah.
Is that something you watch, pay attention to? Is there something that...
No.
It's nice.
It's got a temperature gauge over here in the tank too. The only time I've ever looked at it is on a day when it's 90 degrees and I'm in the sun and I look and it's like, holy smokes, it's 170 degrees. I better not have anything explode. I'll be burned instantly.
Yeah.
And those are days when I don't split as much anyway. It's always better when it's cool out. Yeah, I guess you could see it spike if you get something where you're splitting or trying to split, I should say, a crotch or something. You get a knotty one and you can see it spike. It'll go up, whatever, I don't know. All I know is that it works.
Yeah.
I am not a mechanic. I'm the last guy in the world who should be asking these questions.
It's all you need.
I put wood up there, I pull the lever, and the pieces get small. That's as much as I know. I'm not smart enough to know anything else. That's why I bought it. And I'm the guy that if it breaks, I just assume I'll call somebody.
Yeah.
Fix it. Because I need to make more wood. I believe I can't know everything, and all of us are smarter than any one of us. So my belief is hire a guy to do the job right.
Yeah, I agree.
So if something major would go wrong with any of my equipment, I don't do any work on my truck. I take it in. I just
they're better at it because they know what
Yeah.
they're looking for. They know what they're doing. They can get it done, the job done quicker, and
Right.
they're doing it right. You know, you might get into something and, well, I'll just do it like this. It'll work for today, and then you forget about
You
it.
can,
and
yeah.
Today never ends.
I do change the oil on it, and I make sure that I've got the hydraulic fluid. I mean, I've done that. I check the air filter once.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, that's why guess I'm willing to buy better equipment most of the time. I try to buy stuff that I know is going to work, which is why people buy an Easton made, because it's
Right.
going to work, and they're not going to have problems. And if they do, they'll make it right. So that's how I roll. I always believe in hiring someone. My example I use most of the time is like, yeah, you can do almost anything yourself, but wouldn't you want to hire someone to do the best job possible for a specialty, like say dentistry?
Oh yeah.
Would you do your own dentistry? You probably could drill a hole. You probably could fill your tooth. You probably could do it. But why?
Yeah.
Hire a guy that knows how to do it right.
Yep. And get the job
Instead
done.
of dying. Yeah.
Yeah, that's for sure.
So yeah, my thing is I know a little bit about wood and I know a little bit about photography. Other than that, I'm pretty useless. And you know how I know that? My wife has told me that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dinner conversation.
So, well, I've got something I got to go do, and he came to play. So you're gonna do some splitting now.
Yeah,
I'll let you fondle my machine for a while.
All right, I appreciate that because it gives me more knowledge on the Easton made product and what I get to look forward to when mine arrives.
After you use this, and you got to wait. As long as you're gonna have to wait, you're gonna have nightmares. You're gonna wake up. Where's my splitter? you're gonna like be a little kid Christmas morning every day.
DTs.
Every day.
Yeah. So, all right. Hang on. We'll show you some more. Hey, I want to thank you for showing up today to see our videos. If you're a new subscriber or new to our channel, I really appreciate it. You stopping by and checking us out. We're going to have all kinds of different homesteading, self-sufficiency. And then I hope you like the videos that you saw today. If you'd like to see different types of videos, leave that in the comments down below of what kind of stuff you're really interested in. You know, it's a homesteading channel. We do a lot with firewood, and then you know, the other homesteading stuff, like growing the Back to Eden garden. We make some mead. We do some wild mushroom foraging. We also grow some of our own mushrooms here on the homestead as well. So thanks for showing up. Hit that like and subscribe button, and do me a favor, share it with your friends. Have a great day.